Good morning and welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I'm Ken Walls and I'm your host. And I am freaking excited today, y'all. Listen, I might have the best looking, handsome dude besides me on planet Earth on the show today. And I say that fully confident in my heterosexuality. So look, I want to talk about. I want to tell you this guy. I met him for the first. I've heard of him, obviously, but I met him for the first time at the 10X Growth Conference, and man, he's just a good dude. So I'm excited to have him on. He's actually in a hotel room doing this from Dallas, Texas. I want to welcome my buddy James Jacobi to the show. James, welcome to the show, man.
Ken, thanks for having me, everybody. Nice to see you this morning.
Dude, it's good to see you, man. So I started this show. I told you I started it about a year ago. Almost exactly. It was in April of last year that I started this show. I've interviewed over 170 entrepreneurs and celebrities and all kinds of amazing people. And so, today I get to interview you, man.
That's awesome.
We're,
I'm
we're
so
gonna
humbled
we're
to
gonna
be on.
help some people have a breakthrough today, man. So,
Absolutely.
James, why don't you start by telling everybody where you were born and raised?
I was born in Madison, Wisconsin, in the heart of the Midwest.
Wow, where it's sunny and warm all the time.
All the time, all the time,
Yeah,
in the
I've,
land of cheese curds.
yeah, I've been there, man. That's the home of Culver's, dude.
Oh, if you don't know what Culver's is, you need to go find out. It's one
Like,
of the best fast foods of all time.
dude, the Butter Burger, home of the Butter Burger, and holy moly,
It is that real. It's amazing. It's the
it's
best burger.
there's nothing like it, man.
Yeah.
There's one right down the road. I mean, well, it's not right down the road, about 30 minutes from me. If it was closer, I would be the fattest man on planet Earth. For real. Dude, so you were born in Madison. Is that where you like were raised? You went to school there, all of that?
So I had a different upbringing. I actually have lived in 9 states and moved over 35 times in my life.
Okay.
And my dad was not in the military because that's the first question people ask me. But my dad was in a big corporate company, and they just had a habit of moving people around every 2 years. So I literally had three different elementary schools. I luckily had one middle school and one different high school. But then I also had three colleges. So I just figured I'd carry the tradition after I got out of the house.
Wow, no kidding. Where'd you graduate? Like high school? Where
Yeah.
were you then?
So I went to high school in Fort Myers, Florida, and
Jeez, wow.
it was beautiful down there. I had an amazing time. One of the best windows of my life that set me up for some success. And I went to Gainesville for a little bit. I was a Gator.
Okay.
And then I transferred to Illinois. I was at Champaign-Urbana for a little bit.
Jeez.
Um, and we might get into that a little bit today because there's some depth there of why I stopped there for a second, and then I finished school at Northern Illinois in DeKalb, and I got my degree in sales and marketing.
Dude. So like you start like why would you okay, so you started your life in Madison, Wisconsin. And I was joking. It's like one of the coldest places on planet Earth. Like it's
It
crazy in the
is.
winter up there. But like, so you started your life there. You ended up in high school in Fort Myers, Florida.
Hmm.
And then you ended up in college eventually up north again.
Back up. Yep.
Why? Why
So
didn't you just stay in college in Florida, man? It's way
I
warmer.
mean, it's a really good question. I actually, had almost a full ride, so I really wasn't paying much either. It was kind of
Jeez.
a perfect setup. But we all do things when we're 20 years old. That's a little crazy. So actually, my parents did move back to Rockford, Illinois. My parents, so this is great, right? If you're a parent, you can resonate with this. But I'm graduating college. I applied. I only applied to two schools because the only two I wanted to go to. I wanted to go to University of Wisconsin, or I
Hmm.
wanted to go to Florida, and I got accepted to both. And I picked Florida just because I was 4 hours away from my parents. It was like perfect distance, like
Yeah.
not
And
too
it's
close.
warm.
Yeah, and I'm warm. And then my dad tells me the summer before I go to school that they're moving to Rockford, Illinois,
Oh,
and
wow.
all my family's gone. So um, I went back to go. I chased a girl in college up to Illinois, and that got me back to Illinois. But didn't work out. It's fine, and it got me to where I was. So
Dude, okay. So you got a sales and marketing degree
mhm.
from college in Illinois. What university?
Northern Illinois. It's the
Okay.
MAC Conference School.
Okay.
Yep.
And so what happened after that? Where did you leave college and immediately get a job in sales and marketing?
Yeah. So it was interesting because I guess I want to share a little depth to some break because this show's about breakthroughs, right? So
Yeah.
I want to share a little bit of context to what happened here with the audience. 'Cause I think it's helpful. So we all have tragedy, in our lives that we all can share and resonate with that to some degree. My biggest one was I lost both my grandparents in a plane crash in 1999, and it was on record from NTSB that they were taken down by radical Islam pilots.
What?
So it was a precursor to 9/11, and they were going to Egypt out of LaGuardia or out of JFK, and the plane went down an hour into flight. Um, it was like one of the most disruptive things I've ever experienced in my life. It was really hard. And then 2 years later, or 3 years later, my cousin who I grew up with, who was 22, had just got married, went to Iraq as a reserve Marine, and he never came back.
Jeez.
And so like that window of my life was really tough. And I actually got diagnosed with clinical depression, and I really checked out of life for a couple of years, which is why it took me so long to graduate college. And I had to really think through what I wanted to be, who I wanted to be, and all that stuff. So when I got my stuff together, that's when I went to DeKalb and got my degree. And I worked every night as a waiter at a restaurant, and put myself through 18-hour semesters just to catch up on time because I lost so much time.
Yeah.
So I got a degree in like 2 years because I just wasted so much time before that. But I interviewed at a lot of places and got 7 job offers. And this is right before the crash, right? This is right before the 2008 crash.
Yeah.
And I got an opportunity to go with this company to New Jersey and start their location in New Jersey with a couple people. So if you're from the Midwest, like you'll understand when I say this, but like the idea of New York City is like really, really cool if you're from small town Midwest.
Yeah.
So that was like a big deal. It's like going to Hollywood. It's going to LA, right? So
Yep.
I took the road less traveled, and I had no family or friends in New Jersey, but I just said, let's do it.
Yeah.
And so I was like an entrepreneur basically in a big company, helping them start a new branch.
Wow. So, and what year was this?
That was 2008. So that was right when the crash happened. We started a brand new business right when
What
that
what
financial
was the
market crashed.
business again?
Recruiting. So we were a recruiting
Oh,
company in the healthcare sector.
like
So
executive recruiting?
like medical. So we did like nurses
Yeah.
and medical staff, office staff.
Wow.
But I mean, just imagine, right? Like the entire economy crashes. No one's hiring for jobs.
No. No.
Like it
Wow.
was rough.
Dude,
It
that's
was
when my
rough.
wife was downsized from her big cushy VP of marketing position with a giant company. I mean, there was so much downsizing going on back then. It was insane. I can't even. Well, I mean, recruiting. If you're just trying to find people looking for work, I guess that would have been easy, right?
Well, there's a lot of supply, but the companies didn't want to hire anybody, right? Because
Oh
they
yeah,
didn't know what to do with their cash flow and what's going on in their business. They didn't know where this was going. So, um, it was looking back. It's one of the coolest stories. A part of my career is a lot of companies went under. A lot of
yep,
companies went under, and we somehow didn't lose much. Like we lost like 0.5% in our revenue in the company for that year, which was incredible. but we just fought through it. Like whenever you get faced with adversity, no matter if it's on your own doing or if it's external and you had no control, but it just hit you and wiped you almost off the map. It's like, how do you respond to that, right? Like, how are you going to respond to the adversity that's in your face?
Yeah.
And are you going to lose or are you going to win? And we just decided, like, we moved out here, we opened this place up, we're not going to lose. So we worked twice as hard, working like 100-hour work weeks, calling everyone to see who needs help. And we fought through it. And then because of that momentum and that energy,
Yep.
the next year when the market started to pick back up, we grew 500% in 1 year because of that momentum that we put into it.
Wow.
So there's some lessons with that, right?
Dude, that's incredible. So that's like I mean that's so many people, especially back then. And I have a feeling that it's coming again. And people
Yeah.
don't even like I remember, man, I started my company in '07, and I remember, dude, it was like, "Oh my God, what did I do?" Like,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, but at least in marketing, when there's a downturn, companies do have a tendency of focusing more on how they can better market themselves. So, but
Mhm.
like if they're going to survive, they better focus on that. So,
Yeah.
so you did that. How long did you do that? How long were you there?
So I was in one company for 10 years and
Wow.
which is rare for I'm 36, so for my age group, that's not common.
Yeah, no, 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 not at all. So, dude, you just left then recently.
I did. I left last September. So I started my own company last September.
Wow. And what's your company?
It's called Jacobi Enterprises, and we do two really sides of the business. We have an advisory, high level business strategy side where we help companies redesign their sales process and their
Yep.
sales development, and then we have an outsource model where if businesses have struggles with closing their leads and a low sales force, we actually have a whole sales team that closes their leads with them, and we grow our revenue together. So
Dude, that's amazing. So tell me, like, what are some of the because so far, I mean, you pretty much just told your entire life story in 13 minutes, and it
yeah,
all sounds really easy. So has it always just been easy?
no.
Come on, man. You
No.
just give that $1 million smile, and people just hand over their money, right?
Yeah, it helps sometimes, but man, I actually I did a post in my Instagram page yesterday about this actually, because there's so much, especially for the next generation, right? In the 20s right now, there's a lot of marketing out there that says, hey, you can be on your laptop anywhere you want and make a ton of money and all this cool flashy stuff, and it's just not real. Like if you ask any successful person how out there what they did to be successful, none of them will tell you that it was easy. Like we had made you have to make a ton of mistakes to learn. You have to work really, really freaking hard. But it does matter who you know and what you know and what you're aiming for. And I talk about I saw Danelle this morning and I'm talking about her yesterday. She's going to speak next week in my live event.
Yeah.
But one of the big changes for me, what happened 2 years ago when I first met her, and I was doing really well in corporate. I was one of the top sales leaders in corporate, billing our clients like 33 grand a month or
Yeah.
a week.
Yeah.
And I saw Danelle speak, and she talked about her life and the results that she produced and what her clients produced. And I've never even known that you could do those kinds of things. I didn't know you could produce at that level. You just never, my mind never went there. And so that was the first major time in my life where I saw a shift where my eyes opened up and there's like, whoa, you can do way more. And then the choice is, are you the person that says, well, that's cool for you, good for you, somehow you got lucky or something, but it's just not for me? Or are you the person that says, how in the world do I do that? I want to find out and I'm going to do it too.
Right.
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 If someone can run the 4 minute mile, then that means I can too. Right.
That's right. Yeah,
So
what's interesting is and I was just listening to an interview with Ed Milet about this, and they were talking about the 4 minute mile, and forever nobody had run the mile in under 4 minutes, and then Roger Bannister did it, and interestingly enough, that it was only a couple of weeks later that like dozens and dozens and dozens of other people ran the 4 minute mile. So and less, right? So like when you're around the right people, and you tell me, but like it's important, right? Like when you
It's
see other
huge.
people,
It's huge. It's huge. I wrote a book right when I left corporate in 3 days. I wrote an entire book in 3 days, and
dude.
it's a bestseller now. It's going to be
That's
out in airports next January. But part of the lessons I learned that I share with my readers is you have to build a board of advisors, a board of people that are going to pull and lift you up,
yep.
that will teach you things and challenge you in ways that no one else is, because and my grandfather said this from when I was a little kid, is tell me who your five friends are and I'll tell you who you are. You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
it's true. It's true.
1,000%. 1,000%. So what are some of the I mean, let's go back to your childhood. Um, Tony Robbins talks about, in life we all need certainty and we also need uncertainty. But there's a certain point where too much uncertainty causes some serious issues, man, and not being certain growing up as a kid, not being certain where you're going to be living, or are you moving from Wisconsin to Florida, or like what are some of the emotional things that you went through as a child that you
Mm,
feel like may have affected you as an adult?
yeah. I mean, it's like a flip of a coin, right? Because when we move so much, like one of the negative things I had to deal with, and it's affected me still today, but it's helped me at the same time. It's, when you invest your heart fully into people, and you build relationships, and then you have to move and you rip that apart. It's like, man, what the heck? Like, I thought we were going to be together or hang out forever, and and that was hard to keep doing that over and over again when you finally felt like you had a best friend and you guys were tight, and then the next thing you know, you're gone, and you never see him again. It's that was hard, but at the same time, um, you get to reinvent yourself if you want to everywhere you move, because no one knows who you are,
Right, right.
and that's an opportunity, right? Depending on how you look at it.
Yep.
And I would say in middle school, and everyone says their middle school years probably weren't the best, but I moved from middle school to a whole new state and a whole new high school, and I'm so glad that I got a reset button, because I didn't really like who I was in middle school or where I was going, and I got a fresh start in high school, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me at that time. And I met friends that were seniors, and they pulled me up, and I learned met a lot of new friends, had a lot of cool experiences. Um, but
So back up to middle school, dude. What were you doing? Like, what was were you like? Were you breaking B&E? Like, were you breaking and entering? I'm kidding. What was going wrong?
I was super shy. I had like no confidence in myself,
Uh,
zero confidence.
yeah,
And, I always compared myself to other people really hard, and, looked at the popular kids, and, envied that really,
yeah.
and wanted to be a part of it. But the funny thing though is, once you finally get to that point and you're in that group, you realize that, like, what you were valuing was stupid. Like, there's no weight in it. And half the
Right.
people that you thought were cool actually aren't that cool.
Dude, it's the truth, man. It's the truth. You know, and I've met some pretty big names, and got to hang out with them, and the closer you get to some of these people, the more you see their faults. And that's the thing,
Yeah.
man, is like, once you understand that we're all like, dude, we're all floating around on this rock through space, like trying to figure it out, man. And some people, yeah, maybe on the financial gauge, some people have it way better than others. I get that, but dude, they still get those people still get pissed off when they look over and the toilet paper roll is empty. Right? They're still faced with the same exact problem we all are if that happens, right? So
Yep.
it doesn't
True.
matter. And again, I think, and it sounds like what happened for you as a child and all the moving and the uncertainty of I think that it sounds like it really helped develop you and make you who you are today. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%, 100%. And, I think one of the life lessons that I still learn sometimes, and I think this is a big one, but it's like for whatever reason, we want to get attention and connectivity to certain people because we think for some reason that's going to like change things for us.
Right.
And in some cases it does.
Yes.
But a lot of times though, what we make mistakes in all the time, I see it myself, I see other people do it, is there's a lot of people over here that are ready to give you that, but you're not paying attention to them.
Yeah.
And like you're like completely missing your fan base and your support system. Like it's actually over here. It's not these people at all.
Right.
Like these people never give it to you, but these people are ready to, and you're not even paying attention to them.
Dude, amen to that. Holy crap. People put their attention on the wrong people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time, man. And there are, that's why I love that saying that says treat the janitor the same exact way you would treat the CEO. And in most cases, not most, in a lot of cases, the janitor's going to be willing to help you more than the CEO would if you were his best friend.
100%. 100%. I mean, this is a fresh thing for me, this topic,
Yeah.
because it's really been interesting, especially when you're starting a new business and you have everything against you that could go wrong, right? And you have to figure out quick wins and navigate before your cash flow diminishes, right?
Yeah.
You like have a time glass of sand, right? And you only have this much time before you got to replenish. So
Yep.
every conversation, every deal, everything you do matters. And there's so many people that will say, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that? And they're not supportive, right?
Yep.
And you can't listen to that noise. You have to listen and look for people that are saying, wow, that is really cool what you're doing. Tell me more, that want to be a part of that.
Yep.
And perfect example, I'm so excited to see this person next week. He's coming to the Morris Growth Con event in New Jersey. But he's from Houston. He's from Houston, Texas. He's a mid-20s gentleman, and he's running a new real estate company, and he's a social media marketer. He's been following me on Instagram, and we've been talking on DM, and he came out to Manhattan a couple weeks ago for a trip, and I just got off my family vacation in the Pocono Mountains, and the same day we got back, I drove an hour and a half to see him in Manhattan because I had a window, and that was my only window to see him, so I did it.
Yeah.
And then we spent 3 hours together in Central Park and had an amazing conversation. I poured into him some advice and tried to help him out. So it was awesome. And then no expectations from that, right? No expectations. And then he calls me up like 2 weeks ago and says, I'm coming to your event. I'm flying in. And 2, I'm going to sit down with you and help you work on some of your business where I can help you I know I can help you at, and I'm all in. Like, I just want to help you and pour into you. And like, there you go. Like there's people like that want to help you because they believe in you and they just want to be a part of the journey. And those are the people you need to invest in and say, yeah, this together. And that's why I'm so excited about this event, is because we put something together that, you need to be a big name, big company with lots of cash to do something like what we did. And we didn't have any of that. But what we did have is we had a common vision of growth and coming together, and we shared each other's resources to create this thing. And it's all boats rise and the tide together type of situation, which is the whole point of what we wanted to do anyways, to show that you can do stuff like that if you have the right people in your life and in your business.
Right.
So
right. Dude, that's awesome. So along the way you've faced some challenges. Have you ever like been homeless or anything crazy like that where you're
No,
sleeping in your
thankfully
car?
I haven't hit those.
Yeah,
Thankfully,
yeah,
but you know, I've dealt with a lot of loss. I've dealt with a lot of um, just tough decisions, right?
yeah,
Like tough dynamics that you have to think about what's important for your family first, and
yeah.
how do I take care of them despite decisions I need to make in my job or in my career or people I'm talking to. Like you gotta look out for number one in yourself and your family and protect that
Yeah.
because this world is nasty sometimes.
So you have a family? Are you
I do.
married?
I have three kids. I have a six-year old, 3-year old, and a 10-month old.
What?
Yeah,
Dude, I didn't know that. Why didn't I know that?
I don't know. I don't know.
The
Have,
heck?
having a beautiful and amazing wife who's unbelievably gorgeous and super supportive of me, and she also launched her own business at the same time I did last year. So
Jeez.
we're like the greatest showman family for real.
That is what does she do?
So she launched an innovative school model that is disruptive in the education industry. We're not trying to compete with public or private schools. It's just a different way to do school completely.
Yeah.
It's a model that's founded by this school called Acton Academy in Austin, Texas. They now have 120 schools worldwide in 5 years, and in another 5 years, they're going to scale to 1,000 schools. So it's a very Socratic model. A lot of empowerment to the kids. We believe that every kid has a hero's journey, and we want to teach them how to find their calling, and that really gives them empowerment to know who they are and what they can do in their life that will add massive value and fulfillment for themselves. So it's a really cool model, and she's launching it. She's got her doors open in September in Mendham, New Jersey, and we already have 70% capacity filled for students. So.
Jeez, man, that is insane. Wow. So that takes some that wow, that's incredible. You both start a business at the same exact time.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
What now, was she working prior to that somewhere or?
Yeah, she works for a network marketing company
Okay.
called Matilda Jane. It's a clothing company for girls,
Okay.
and it's really cool. But she's been doing that for 3 years and been doing great. But this is her real heart. We asked ourselves a question. This is a big question. I hope everyone watching will ask themselves this question. But if you had all the money in the world and you've traveled everywhere you wanted to travel, get that out of the way.
Yeah.
What would you like to do with the rest of your life?
Right. Right.
And it's a deep question,
Big time.
big time. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of truth in there that we all need to listen to because that's probably where we need to really hone in on what our purpose is.
Wow.
And that will help you have a really fulfilled life, everything you do.
So talk a little bit about this. You've got the Morris Growth Con coming up that you've put together, right? Like
Hmm.
it was your idea.
Yes.
Okay, so talk about where did this idea originate? How did it come about?
So it's kind of an interesting story. And this is the beauty of like, man, when you paint a vision and you if you believe this or not, if you put stuff into the universe and you really just keep reaching for your goals, things start to happen. And I last
Yep.
October said I want to have a live event in 2019. I don't know when, I don't know how. I wanted to have three people that I mentioned in my book be the speakers. None of them I got actually, but um, I'm also on the board for the local regional chamber as one of two millennials on this board of directors. And the reason I was asked to come on there was they wanted fresh energy and new ideas. So I'm like, cool. Well, I can do that. Um, that's not a problem. And the
You
local
dang
college,
millennials,
it's
you're all full of ideas.
yeah, we got lots of them. We got lots of them.
Love it.
Um, but we do care a lot about purpose and impact and working together. We're very
Yep,
much about that,
I
and we
agree.
work really hard.
Yeah.
Um, but the local president, Tony Iacono of the County College of Morris, he's amazing, and he's very forward thinking in terms of what education should be in today's age, with collaborations and with companies, and generating a workforce that's going to be relevant as we progress here in the next 5-10 years, where we're battling AI and all sorts of stuff that's going to disrupt everybody. So anyways, they both wanted to say, listen, we want to do an event or do something where we can come together differently than we are. And we want to get new engagement, new energy. And so I'm like, well, if you can give me the venue and let me know when it's available, we'll see what we can do. So I found out that April 15th was like one of the only days in the calendar before later this year that was available for the school. And then I went to 10X GrowthCon where I saw you.
Yeah.
And we were in that suite, and I was just asking people, hey, what's up? Hey, would you be interested in doing some speaking in New Jersey? And after starting to find out everyone's availability for the whole year, this was the only time they all had the same time open.
Wow. That is
So
incredible.
I asked them, each of them, would you like to come? And I batted 1,000. Every time I asked someone to come, they said yes. And I told them why we were doing it, and they said even more yes. Like, oh my God, that's amazing. And so right before our eyes, within like a week, we literally created a massively unbelievable eight-figure, or not eight-figure, eight powerful speaker lineup with a cool venue. And then we just had to figure out how to promote this and sell tickets and get this thing done.
Wow.
So we created this whole thing in 6 weeks.
Dude, that is incredible. So who are some of the speakers you're having there?
So we got Danelle Delgado, we got Roddy Chung,
Wow.
Hank Norman, David Meltzer, Lee Smith, who we talked about from
Yep.
Columbus,
Yep.
Trisha Ben, who runs the Hero Club, part of the C-Suite Network.
Yep.
We have Brian Cristiano out of Manhattan.
I know Brian.
Yep. We just got him just recently, so he's so pumped to have him on board. Jason Cisneros from Utah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one heck of a day. It's gonna be something else.
Wow. So what's the conference about? What's if somebody attends, what can they expect to get out of it?
They're gonna hear things in ideas that they've not heard ever in their life. And it really goes back to my story 2 years ago where I saw Danelle. It's like you're just doing your normal thing and you're doing pretty good, but then all of a sudden this person comes in and says, "Hey, did you know you can do this like right now?" And you're like, "What?"
Right. Right.
That's going to happen a lot on Monday, where people get strategies and systems and paradigm shifts of like what you could be doing right now in your business that you're not, and we can show you how to do it because we're doing it.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's cool is that I specifically asked each of these speakers to come because they all have a very relatable story.
Yeah.
They all came from places that were broken or didn't have anything, and they, through their grit and through their vision and their calling, they pushed through it, and they made this unbelievable business and brand that's helped so many people. And I want people to see that, not so they can receive value, which I want, but I also want them to see that there's heroes in all of us. And if you want to take that calling, you can. And we want to empower you to do that and offer that to people that day if they're ready to do it. So it's a special event that's not common. And we want to bring people together in a way that we haven't done before, especially for a small business community. So my ultimate goal would be for people to take this information and then we come together and we keep doing this and we grow. But I also want other people in the country to watch this and say, we can do that here too. And create movements in our small communities that really change the game for our neighborhoods, our businesses. So
let me ask you this. I mean, and I try to get these questions to. I mean, look, you've gone from. I mean, dude, you were working at a job a year ago, right? So like, not even, right? What month was it?
September.
Geez. So not even a year ago. Here you are. You have this new company, and in less than a year, you made the decision. I'm going to put together a conference with a bunch of speakers, and you've got Danelle Delgado, Hank Norman, Roddy Chong. You've got some amazing people coming in, and you're just doing it.
Just doing
But
it.
there's so many people. There are so many people in this world that go to their graves with their hopes and dreams still in them. Go to
Yes.
their graves, possibly even on their deathbed, they're wondering what might have been. And so my question would be, in your opinion, and the most common answer to this is fear. But in your opinion, what is it that keeps people stuck?
Fear of many things is usually what it is. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of what people think is a big one.
Yeah,
Fear of just like, what if this doesn't work? I could lose everything. You know what I like to think about a lot of times with this is, when you watch sports games and you're watching the online stats, and even on TV, they'll show like the predictability of this team going to win.
yeah,
And how many times have we seen in just like the last year where the team is crushing it and that 99% chance of winning with a minute left in the game, and guess what? They lost.
right,
Right? It just flips
right.
because the other team never gave up and they knew they could win. They just needed that one moment. It just takes one moment to make it win. And my thought on this topic, because I've thought about this a lot just in the last couple of days, is I told this to someone last night actually, is to say, why are you doing? Because she asked me, why are you doing all this right now? I mean, it's awesome, but why? And my answer was, because if I'm capable of actually producing this, which I did with help and support, and we did this together, we built this thing. If I'm capable of doing that, then I must do it. Because
Yeah.
if we're capable of creating something so great, then we must do it if we actually care enough about helping other people and bringing a big impact. Like if we're capable of doing something so big and we don't, then it's on us. Like we like totally let people down. We let ourselves down because we have greatness inside of us, and there's so much potential that we are not tapping into. I have so much potential. I'm still learning that I have, that I'm pulling out. And it just propels me. Like it makes me go faster because I don't want to slow down. I want to get faster
Right.
because of how awesome this stuff is just coming out of everywhere, and everyone's benefiting. Everyone's excited about it. Everyone's getting value from it. So I know that it's right. And when you build the right vision and lead people and enroll them in it because they can benefit from it and put themselves in that to benefit themselves, then you have a good vision and a good direction of what you're doing.
I and it sounds like you have a genuine desire to because I mean, are you getting rich off of this conference you're putting together?
I don't know if I'm going to break even on the whole
Right,
thing.
right.
Yeah.
So it sounds to me like you have a genuine desire to help people and help people grow, including yourself. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've read that everything we do as human beings in one way or another is self. It's not self-centered as in you're selfish, but even helping somebody else, innately, I think we all know that that there's a benefit to us to help other people, right? Like there is a benefit. So, in some sense, it's a little bit selfish, but not in the bad sense.
Right.
But
Right.
so, it sounds like you have a genuine desire to help people. And my question would be this. And I started developing websites professionally in 2002, and I freelanced for years, and then I started my company in '07. And along the way, building the company, I've hit some roadblocks that were like difficult. Like I had my car repossessed in front of a bunch of employees one day. Like I have been through some crap, right? And so my question for you is this: If somebody called you and they said, dude, look, my car was repoed last week. They're shutting my electric off tomorrow. I don't know what to do. Don't know which direction to turn. I feel like I've given it my all and I don't know what to do. It's all falling apart. What would you say to that person in that moment to help them get beyond that situation?
I would say, because I haven't had that exact thing happen to me, but I've had many moments where I felt like the world was collapsing on top of us, and you just feel like you're crushed and you don't know what you're going to do. You wake up tomorrow. If you wake up tomorrow, you got a new shot, and you're still here.
Yeah.
As much as that hurts, and whatever you think is going to destroy you, you wake up tomorrow and you're still here. That means you can find a way out. You can take that one step and get back up, and it's not going to hold you down. You just don't give up. Don't give up on your life. Like, remember what you're doing and why you're doing it. And if you wake up tomorrow, it means you got another opportunity, and this whole thing can change. And we all know, like, as bad as things get, and sometimes they happen real fast, we can see success real quick too. Like, we can have something happen in our lives that just pulls us right back up real fast.
Yep.
And we got to keep even keel on that, right? We got to have even perspective.
Yeah.
Because it could go either way. But that's what I would say to that person is, like, listen, as hard as this is, like, just don't give up. Like, you have so much love and support, and you wake up tomorrow and there's another shot for you that you can change everything. So just don't let it hold you down.
Did you see? Were you there for Steve Harvey's speech?
That was awesome.
I mean, dude, the guy was homeless. He lived in his car for 3 years. 3 years. He now has a net worth of like $150 million. You there? Can you hear me okay?
It's insane. Yep. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to make sure you can still see me.
Yeah. I mean, the dude was homeless for 3 years living in his car. And now he's got, TV. He's got everything. Like, the dude's, right? Like, it was insane. So, I agree with you, man. Like, life's going to come at you. It's going to happen. And
yep.
How it's about how you respond and how long you hold on to the negativity, because negativity comes at you too.
Yep.
And you can hang on to it and let it destroy you, or you can just put it away, man. Bless and release, forgive, let go.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, not to like get churchy in anyone, but there was a really powerful statement that my pastor gave a week ago, and it's really been incredible. Is you have two choices, because we're all moving towards something that we want. We're all moving towards results and goals that we want. And there's many, many days where it seems like it's impossible. And then there's days where it feels like we can do it. But you either can choose to live in fear, which completely debilitates you, or you can live in faith and just believe that you can actually get there and you can do it. And either one, you have a choice, but either one it precipitates the result. So it's like, what are you going to choose to like think about and believe in as you go forward? Because one could totally throw you awry. One could give you a shot.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
That's right. You're right, dude. So, man, how can everybody follow you?
I'm on Instagram, real James Jacobi. I'm on Facebook a ton. It's James.Jacobi, my personal page. You can follow me there. I'd love to engage with you, talk with you. So please say hello if you're watching this and we don't know each other. I'd like to learn more about you.
And what about this Morris Growth Conference? When is it?
It's this Monday the 15th.
Oh, wow.
It's all day.
Wow.
All day. 8 to 5, and then we have a reception with more Q&A in a really cool, intimate setting with the speakers for 90 minutes. So it's going to be awesome.
So how much are tickets? How do people get them? All that.
If you go to Morris, MORRIS, MorrisGrowthCon.com, that's our site, and you can see all the ticket packages there. I mean, if any of you have been to events before, you'll see that this is ridiculously discounted.
How much are they?
It's $197 for general admission for a whole day.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's it?
That's it. I mean, you can get VIP and get more things out of that, which I'd recommend. But if you want to just come and watch, 197 is all it is. And if you can't make it to New Jersey, we have a live stream for $97.
Dude, that's
So
insane, man.
I mean, you'll triple you'll tenfold that investment if you actually take the advice you learn that day.
That's
Easy.
awesome. That's awesome, dude. Well, man, I tell you, wow. I think it's incredible what you're doing, man. I
Thank
think
you,
it's
Ken.
awesome.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have you on the show. I have Michelle McLean posted the morrisgrowthcon.com link a little bit ago.
Okay, cool.
I have it pinned now to the comments. So yeah, go check it out. morrisgrowthcon.com. Go over and shake James Jacobi's hand and meet some of these speakers that I've met several of them that you just mentioned. And I know most of them personally, so that's really cool, man. You got a great lineup, great
Thank you, Ken.
lineup.
Thank you.
So, dude, thank you for putting it all together to be on the show today. I know you were going to be on yesterday, and we had a couple of challenges. Technically, that's all right. It
Yeah,
turned
thanks
out
for bringing me
just
back.
perfect. What's that?
Thanks for bringing me back right
Hey,
away.
dude. Hey, life happens, man. I'm 50 years old, man. I've been through it. I've been through it all. I've been through it all, man. It's all good. So, that's one of the things is resilience. You got to be able to get up, brush yourself off, and push forward, man. That's it.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
dude, thank you. I appreciate you coming on, and thank you to everybody that's watched this. If you shared this out, James is going to send you $100. I'm just kidding. So I'm kidding. No, but
Do you want
thank
to
you
do a
guys.
giveaway? You want to do a giveaway?
Dude, do a giveaway. What do you want to give away?
We'll give away a free ticket.
A free ticket?
Yeah.
How you gonna do it? How you gonna pick them?
I let my hosts do that. I only give things away. You guys decide how you want to do it. It's your show.
All right. So, geez, that's on the fly. I'll tell you what. Reach out to James if you're interested in a free ticket, and James will send me a list of everybody that reached out, and I'll pick. How's that sound?
Love it.
So, but
Love
do
it.
it today. It's coming
Yep.
up. It's on Monday.
Yep.
It's on Monday. So, listen, dude. Thank you. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you to everybody. And your book is your book on Amazon?
It is. It's called Radical Integrity. You can find it on
Radical Integrity. And how
Yep.
long ago did you write it?
I wrote that in October.
October. Good for you, dude. That's freaking awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I literally yesterday told somebody you need to write your book, man. You need to write your book. I released my book in October of 2017. It hit the bestseller. Then I released the Kindle version in December of this past December, and it stayed at #1 for 48 hours on Amazon. It blew my mind, man.
That's
Like,
awesome.
blew
Isn't
me
that
away.
cool?
Huh?
That's amazing. Isn't that cool?
It's unbelievable, man. Everybody has a book inside of them. Everybody.
Yes.
We help people write their books too. So I'm really I think everybody should write a book. I really, because it's healing too. Like
It is.
it is, man. And
It's
when you
huge.
get your book in the mail, the proof copy, like, dude, I teared up. I was like, whoa, I'm reading my book. It's
Yeah.
insane.
It's really cool.
It
It's
is,
a really
man.
cool experience.
Well, dude, thanks for being on. I appreciate you coming on. Everybody follow James Jacobi on Instagram and Facebook. And hey, go to the morrisgrowthcon.com website, get your tickets. He is giving away one ticket to a lucky person on here. It's in New Jersey. Where is it in New Jersey?
It's in Randolph, New Jersey at the County College of Morris.
Okay. Randolph, New Jersey.
Yep.
So listen, everybody go right now and hit up James if you're interested in a free ticket, and he's going to send me the list of everybody that sends him a message, and I'll pick one. I'll pick one lucky winner for you.
I love it.
So, all right. Hey, you guys, thank you. James, stay on with me if you would. Thank you,
Will do.
guys. Appreciate you all. Anybody that shared this out, thank you. Appreciate it. And you guys have an awesome day. We'll see you later. I'm out.
Bye.